guilty eyes looking at me. Got my dog Holly staring at me through the glass window. She wants to come into the sunroom. I'm not gonna let her. I'm not gonna let her. A, she's a little distracting because she needs pet constantly. B, we have this kind of faux hardwood in our sunroom. And she walks around on it with her toenails and clickety clacks and clickety clacks. And the acoustics in here are surprisingly good. So her toenails hitting the floor are very, very more audible than I want for a guy doing an early morning, just waking up, coffee talk show. So good morning to you. Hello, PD. Hello, Laura. Hello, Irvin. Hello, Dave. Hello, Jake. Hello, the real modern. Hello, Bob G. Nurture, I think that says, user. And Dora Clayton and everybody else that's joining. I so appreciate you guys all hopping on. Good morning, Josh. I've stopped doing my first sip video and I've replaced it with a live video. I think it's important for me to do a live video as often as I can, and I like to do it once a day, and it seems like a good time to do it. The house is usually quiet if I get going at 5:30, and I always feel good accomplishing something early in the morning. And I think as far as my dreams of being a content creator, the content that I create when I'm going live is probably as important as any. Plus, it gives me something to clip into shorts and reels and TikTok. So if I do one a day, out of every half hour, 45-minute video I do, I can always clip, 5, 6 videos out of it and post them as shorts and reels and TikToks. So I guess given the information that I have on this day, it's the best decision I can make. Plus, I'm awake, so I might as well be productive. So again, good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Monday morning. Excuse me. It is April 1st. As a child, I want to say it's April Fool's Day. But, I don't really celebrate April Fools. Do you really celebrate April Fools? I remember playing little tricks as a kid, but I don't know. So anyway, it's it's Monday. It's April 1st. It's about 5:32 a.m. Happy Monday. For those that have been watching a while, it's a show about me talking and getting going in the morning and kind of waking up and rubbing the sleep out of my eyes and bitching and moaning sometimes and saying some inspirational things some other time and, giving you some weather updates or some sports updates or some movie reviews or some, just random thoughts that are bouncing through this guy's head at 5:30 in the morning, and enjoy doing it. But for those that have been watching a while, it's not just a show about me talking about all that stuff. For those that have been watching a while, it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee, and I'm really excited to have my first sip on this Monday morning. My hope is that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. It's so good. It is so good. And notice I took some special care. It's important to take special care from time to time. And if you like hot coffee and you sometimes have long introductions, you have to cover up your mug. You have to cover up your mug to keep it warm. So let's have another sip. Oh, it's a Starbucks Cinnamon Dolce, and it's delicious. It is delicious. Speaking of Starbucks, I think they're encouraging people to go au natural and to conserve for the first time in 3 or 4 years. For the longest time, and it's weird, I'm a little right of center politically. Clearly, Starbucks is a little left of center, management wise and corporate wise and what have you. But I am a big proponent of the environment. I like to recycle. I like fishing. I like walking in forests. I pick up litter and what have you. I'd like to see the environment taken care of. And you go to these fast food places, you do your best to recycle and at home and, make sure, I don't know, you take care of the world in as much as you can. But then you go out and you see all the garbage being dumped out by a Starbucks or a McDonald's or what have you, and it makes you wonder. And again, since COVID, that Starbucks has stopped as a corporation just refilling. You get free refills, and this might be boring to anybody, but it is a coffee talk show, so I'm talking about Starbucks. You get free refills when you have the Starbucks app. And I often, I go to Starbucks almost every day. I get a lot of work done there, work on my videos, work on my life and job and search and enjoy it a lot. But anyway, I go and I get refills as well. And when you go now, since COVID, they have to throw out your cup and they get you a new cup and a new lid. And I always go, oh, I wish we could save the trees. Hello, RJ. Yeah, I'd like to save the trees and not go through so many cups and not waste so much. But again, their new policy since COVID is every time, they're going to throw out a cup and get you a new one. Apparently, somebody in corporate Starbucks is aware of the amount of probably cost, because usually that's what catches, the corporate bean counters first, but possibly environmentally bad as well. And they've been pushing, giving out mugs for those that drink the coffee at the store. I'm well known at every Starbucks in Naperville, and I'm always there for an hour or so, and I always get a refill. And they've been encouraging the use of their mugs now. And if you do, not only do you get a dime off the cup of coffee you buy, but you also get 25 stars on your app. And when you get 100 stars, you get a free cup of coffee. So it's a fairly significant enticement for those that go to Starbucks a lot like I do. And, but the problem, and here's the long-winded get to the problem, is the coffee gets cold while I'm sitting at Starbucks. I get cream in it there, so it already starts off a little cooler. And if I sit there for 20 minutes and, leave the coffee in my mug for 20 minutes, by the end of the cup, it's, I'm chugging it just so it stays nice and hot. So have a sip of this coffee, lest I forget and keep telling this long-winded story and what have you. So let's have a little more coffee. Somebody asked if you can bring your own mug. Yes, you can. But the issue with this mug or any other mug is I like to sit there and spend an hour and a half or what have you. And again, the coffee gets cold. So knowing I was going to do a long-winded intro today, I decided to cover up my coffee. I go to great lengths to keep my coffee hot. I cover it up. I microwave some water in the bottom of my mug so it's nice and piping hot. But still, no matter what you do, and I've talked about it before, you can't always control all aspects of life or the world, and gravity's going to be gravity, and heat is going to, I think it's dissipate from the cup. So you do your best and you just keep smiling. So here we go. Speaking of doing our best, I had a great day yesterday. It was Easter Sunday. I hadn't been to church in several months. I went with my son Augie, which was a long-running tradition of ours. And he's almost 3 now. And when he turns 3, he's going to graduate to the next daycare room at my church I go to. And I was glad I got him in there while he's still under 3 because the ladies in there all like him and know him. And I don't know, he's really popular and he's adorable. And he's comfortable there. And if I put him in a new room while I'm in the service, I think I would have been concerned that he's having a hard time or getting picked on by a 3 to 5 year old or whatever the next age bracket is. So it felt real good going. I brought him in. He immediately went in this woman's arms that he knew, and he went to the table and sat down and started playing with toys. And the service at church was great. Obviously, it's Easter Sunday, so they make it a little extra special. They were giving out muffins and I don't know, had a bunch of pretty flowers, and I think the band might have played another song or two. And it was a real nice service. And again, I think it was an important service for me because yesterday morning, early on, I woke up afraid. And again, I talk about it a lot. I struggle with anxiety and fear and worry, and maybe we all do. But I think if we compared my anxieties and fears and worries, mine I like to think are more real than probably yours. Yours are just delusions of concern. I have some fairly serious ones, I think. I think I do. But anyway, I guess the world is how you perceive it. And the most recited, they said, commandment in the Bible was do not be afraid. And it touched me yesterday, and it even touches me saying, and since it was Easter, they repeated the phrase, Christ is risen, and the church announced back, he is risen indeed. And again, I don't know where you are on your spiritual journey, or even if you're on a spiritual journey, but the older I get and the more stress and concerns and anxieties and fear that I feel, I find a natural solution in spirituality. And I found it yesterday, and it gave me some peace yesterday and made me feel better yesterday, and reminded myself, despite all the scary, yucky feelings I had in my mind when I was waking up or when I was up during the night, uh, to not be afraid. And uh, yeah, so here's to not being afraid. D. Rich used to go to the Harvest Bible Chapel in Elgin. All right. Cincinnati Joe, who's back in Cincinnati. Thank you. Hope things are well. What else did I do yesterday? So I had a great time with Augie. Uh, Went to Starbucks yesterday afternoon, got a little work done, and while I was sitting there, I didn't feel like sitting at Starbucks so much longer. And one of my things to do as a guy that spent a fair amount of time alone on the holidays, and I don't want you crying for me, but when you're twice divorced, you have oftentimes you might be alone on the holidays. And I've learned to enjoy being alone, and one of the things I enjoy doing when I'm alone is going to see a movie. And a lot of times on Christmas, I've been alone, and I've gone out and seen some great, great movies on Christmas. Yesterday, I looked at the list of movies that was available yesterday afternoon, going, I got a free afternoon. Most things are closed. The movie theaters are open, though. What could I go see? And I looked at the list, and there was not a list of. There's a movie coming out, by the way, by the name of Civil War, which looks really good. And especially in this volatile political climate here in the States, I think is very appropriately timed. And I think it's about the United States falling into another civil war. And yeah, so it looks pretty good. But I was thinking it came out yesterday. It did not come out yesterday. It's not out for another couple of weeks. So I wasn't able to go see that. And out of the list I saw, the only movie that slightly moved the meter, and I'm almost embarrassed to admit it, was Godzilla and King Kong, The New Empire. I think that's what it was called, but either way, I know it was about Godzilla and King Kong. And I don't know. A few months ago, I grew up in the 70s, and Godzilla movies were, I think, probably pretty popular back then. I think Godzilla came out first in Japan in the 1954 or something like that, the very first one. And they released a bunch of sequels to that, and they were all kind of funny and clay and rubber toys and roars and crushing of cities and breathing of fire or what have you. But I have a soft spot for Godzilla movies. And so I thought, hey, I'd check this one out. As a matter of fact, a couple months ago, my youngest stepson, and I watched like five in over a 2 week span, some of the old classic ones. Uh, so I thought I'd check out this one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say I thought it was great. I mean, I think it might be a sequel to one of the more recent ones, but it was, I don't know. There wasn't an actor, and it's hard to say this about a reasonably sized budget movie you go see, but there wasn't an actor or actress in this movie that looked vaguely familiar to me. Most movies have somebody in there that you go, hey, I don't know. I think that guy starred in Goonies in the 1980s. He looks vaguely familiar or something. But there wasn't anybody I recognized at all. And the movie itself, again, and maybe the old classic ones that I remember are only classic in my memories and are probably, you know, weren't that good then either. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I sat through it, and it was kind of. I wouldn't recommend anybody hurry up and go run out unless you have some maybe young kids or something like that want to see that sort of stuff. Uh, but sorry, my dog's making some noise. My dog's making some noise out there. Hope it stays quiet and keeps the babies quiet. But anyway, I wouldn't recommend anyone run out to the movie theater and go see Godzilla versus Kong unless you got absolutely nothing else to do. And I had absolutely nothing else to do other than sit at Starbucks yesterday afternoon and reflect on my day and what have you. So, yeah. I was editing a video during the night last night, and I think I do a lot of these videos, and I clip them into shorts and reels, as I mentioned. I think I say I do them hoping somebody out there finds some value in it. But I'll tell you what, I always find some value when I'm doing it. Not always. Some of my videos, I go, what the hell was I talking about? I talked for 5 minutes about King Kong versus Godzilla. That couldn't have been very interesting. But during the night, I came across a video and a little clip where I'm doing some stretching at the start of a live video. And I posted it on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and what have you. But this morning, while I was waiting for my coffee to brew, I was inspired by my own words and realized how good it feels to do a little stretching. And while the coffee was finishing up, I spent, just a minute and a half or 2 minutes really stretching, doing some big arm raises like that and coming down. And it kind of was a combination of stretching and physical movement and gratitude and almost kind of a prayer, if you will. And again, I only spent about a minute and a half doing it and felt great. It felt great. I think it's important to move your body and awaken your muscles, and it's more than just the physical activity. It's the feeling that you're in the moment, and the feeling you get as you move your body and you bring your hands down. And if you're really focused on it, I don't know, it can be really meditative and inspirational and physical and good for the mind and good for the soul, and just good overall. And again, just did it for a couple minutes today and kind of woke up and felt good. And got me started for my show and got me started uh, for my day. Billy Winston is saying, when is the last time I ran as fast as I can? That's a great question. I used to be a fast runner. I used to run on the track and cross country team. I even ran in college for 2 years. So I used to be very fast. I coached my daughter's, she was in seventh grade, junior high. I was assistant coach at Plank Junior High and coached my daughter's junior high team, or was this kind of running coach. And we would do stride outs, which are like 50 to 100 meter runs, fairly almost at full speed. And I don't I could barely keep up with the very slowest kid on the team during those stride outs. And it is ridiculous for a guy that once would have been the fastest guy in his school that I couldn't keep up with the slowest seventh grader, you know? And so it was about 2 years ago. It was about 2 years ago, and a couple times I probably pushed more than I should. And I was trying to keep up with some even faster guys and maybe trying to go all out. And I felt like the muscles in my thighs were ripping, and I almost fell over. It hurt so bad. And so now I don't do that anymore. I got a bad right knee, and now I really don't run at all, but I do work out a fair amount. Today's the day I think I'm going to the gym, and I'm excited about that, just moving my body. Uh, uh, this morning kind of got me looking forward to getting to the gym and doing my stretching and doing my bench press and the rest of the things I do, and kind of got me excited about the day. And yeah, so it's a good feeling being excited about the day. So let's have a little more coffee, knowing that this cup is cooling, knowing that I got a full pot waiting for me in the other room, and looking forward to that as well. So I'll have a little more coffee. I don't know how much I have for you today. I feel good hopping on this Monday morning. Knowing the birds are chirping outside, knowing the weather feels a little warm but very spring-like this morning, knowing the house is quiet, and knowing I have maybe another hour or so uh, of peace and quiet in the house before chaos ensued. Billy Winston says, I was a very good 2 miler 40 years ago. Yeah, Billy, that's about my story too. 40 years ago, I was 15, so I was a sophomore in high school. Yeah, so it's been a while. Gary from Motown is reminding us that it's April Fool's too. Yeah, I talked about that at the beginning. I don't do really fool's jokes. I don't really want to trick anybody in life. I don't think. I don't think. Oh, one more thing I want to talk about before I go, because this is very important. Started losing weight a couple months ago. Went on a diet. No, it's not a diet. It's just a change of thought, where I would spend more time during each day being hungry and feeling the sensation that is hunger, and not run to the fridge every time I felt a pang of hunger. Well, yesterday was Easter, and there was a lot of candy around, and I got a soft spot for sweets and chocolates, and if I have one, I want to have them all. And I'll tell you what, these little Reese's peanut butter cups that are wrapped, the tiny ones that are wrapped in this like silver foil. Oh, do I have a soft spot for that? And I thought I'd have just one. Famous last words, having just one. And uh, one turned out to be all I could find. And all I could find was probably about 20 of them. And after that, again, I was like a shark in a sea of blood. And I couldn't stop. And I found these other chocolates and started devouring them as well. And I don't know, after about 45 minutes of gluttony, I said, oh, I probably had enough. I'm starting to not feel good. Maybe if I had an apple, that would cure all the sugar and chocolate poisons that I'd done to my body, and enjoyed a nice healthy apple, stopped with the chocolate, and realized it's okay to binge every now and again. It's okay to binge every now and again, because habits make the man, and habits turn you into who you are. And one bit of gluttony, eating too much, doesn't affect the scale at all. Just like one day of dieting is not going to affect the scale. Change comes over time. And like I said, if I was going to have one, I knew I was going to have a whole bunch. So I had a whole bunch, and enjoyed it. And I don't know, there's still some left, so I might be in trouble today, maybe even tomorrow. But I can't let this 3-day binge that is Easter turn into habits. And no amount of working out I do today is gonna burn off the probably, I don't know, 1,000 to 1,500 calories I had eating chocolate last night. Oh, I did. And before I go, I did start a Netflix series last night. I always enjoy, kind of unwinding to a good movie or what have you at night. And I've watched a bunch of movies lately. And rather than try and find another movie, I found a series that came out in 2017 called Narcos. And it's about Pablo Escobar and the Colombian drug trade, and the Medellin drug cartel. And watched the first two episodes. I think it's going to be fairly interesting and entertaining and semi-historical, if you will. It's narrated or told from the eyes of a DEA agent from the 70s and 80s who did what he could to stem the tide of drugs into the country. And it looks fairly interesting. And I'm going to look forward to maybe watching a couple more episodes tonight. Margaret is asking, what do I eat? Food. All sorts of food, not just chocolate. But I don't really tell great stories about me eating a salad. That's not as interesting. Do I eat meat? Yes, I eat meat. Yesterday for breakfast, it was funny. I filled up a bowl of ground beef I'd cooked up the day before and put a little barbecue sauce in it, threw it in the microwave, and enjoyed it for breakfast. I do realize I think protein's better. I don't try and watch my diet too closely, but I am somewhat aware if I eat pancakes, I can eat 20 pancakes and still feel hungry after I have breakfast. But I can eat a bowl of meat or eggs or protein or what have you and fairly fill myself up and keep me myself full for at least a few hours. And I believe proteins are the building blocks of our muscles. And again, because I'm working out and also because I'm not eating it for periods of the day, I know it's important to have nutrients to get you through the workouts and not have your body start digesting the muscles you're trying to build. So I'm somewhat aware, but not too careful about my diet. Again, half of my calories yesterday came in the form of chocolate, and the other half came in ground beef. So I don't know if that's a balanced meal. But what's a balanced meal these days? They keep changing the food pyramid. Fortunately, coffee's almost at the top of my food pyramid, so I'm going to have one more sip. But it's Monday morning. It's the start of the week. And it's always I think you can start your day or turn the page on your day or turn the page on your life every day and start new habits and start new feelings. And I'd suggest if you're out there and you got a bad inner voice, the worst habit you can have is negative self-talk and being mean to yourself. So I'd say if you follow one thing I say today, try to be a little kinder to yourself on this Monday morning. Try to be a little more loving to yourself and more forgiving of yourself, and being okay with who you are and what you're doing and the direction you're going. And if you really don't like the direction you're going, change it a little bit. And you don't have to change it a whole heck of a lot. Do something good for yourself today. Do a little stretching. Do a little praying. Do a little, I don't know, pick up a little garbage. Do something for the world. If you see a plastic bottle on the sidewalk or on the street, pick it up and throw it out or recycle it, better yet. Do a little something good. Shake a veteran's hand. Smile at your neighbor. And smile at yourself as you go about the day. If you see yourself in a mirror, tell yourself you're beautiful and remember to smile and remember the goodness that is, in your heart and in your soul. And I hope you enjoy your Monday. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this day after Easter, on this April 1st, on this Monday morning at this early hour. I so appreciate you for joining. Thank you, Judy, for saying that. You have a great day as well. I so appreciate you for hopping on today and sharing a little bit of your day with me. And I hope you subscribe to my page. Hope you enjoy my videos. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Hope you're feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you're forgiving yourself. Hope you're enjoying your coffee. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye bye.